Hello, welcome back to Science for You and Me. Today, I'll be teaching about how air moves and its temperature. To understand how air moves, we need to understand why it moves. Air moves because of its temperature. For example, take a hot air balloon. Hot air balloons rise because a fire inside of it is heating the air, causing it to rise. Now, we can take this example and use it to learn the basics of why air moves. Simply put, air molecules that are heated rise, expand from each other, and bounce around, while cold air molecules sink, contract, and don't bounce around as much. But why does air do that? When air molecules rise, they lose density. When air molecules sink, they gain density. Density is a measure of mass per unit of volume. Air molecules that are far from each other cause them to be less dense than the molecules that are closer to each other. All of these examples I just showed are examples of convection. Convection is when heat energy is transferred to a liquid or a gas and causes it to move because of its density differences. Convection is one of three main ways heat energy is transferred between gases. Another way heat energy is transferred is through a process called radiation. Radiation is when heat energy is transferred through space without warming the space between. A classic example of radiation is radiation by the sun. For example, say the sun warms the hood of a car. The hood of the car absorbs the heat energy, causing it to warm up. The final way heat energy can be transferred through a gas is conduction. Conduction is a transfer of heat energy from one object to another through direct contact. For example, say if your hand touches a cold surface, your hand will become cold because the surface is absorbing the heat energy from your hand. You can think of it as the surface stealing your heat. Another example of conduction is when you touch the handle of a hot pan. Your hand will absorb the heat energy from the handle, causing your hand to get hotter. Anyway, that's all for today. Please let me know in the comments section if you have any questions, and I'll do my best to respond to them. I'll see you next time on Science for You and Me.